Hello everyone, I'm Jairai, and today I want to talk about the Sony kit lens, the 16-50mm F3.5-5.6 PZ kit lens for Sony's APS-C cameras. I know that a lot of people don't like this particular lens because it's not sharp and has a base aperture of f3.5. I understand that, for photos, f3.5 isn't, bokeh enough, but I don't think that sort of expectation applies for video. I'm currently shooting on the Sony kit lens right now. This is what it looks like. And honestly, I don't think it's that bad to use when you have enough lighting for it being at f3.5. I'm currently using window lighting at the moment because it's a nice big diffuse source. And honestly, the only thing I have to compensate for is exposure, but I can fix that in post. Now, in terms of using this for video, I think it's not that bad to use for video. As long as you know what you're doing and as long as you can determine what's the best settings you can use, you can, get pretty good results from this particular lens. I know that this lens comes bundled with a lot of the Sony APS-C cameras, but I think kit lenses are good starting points for beginners. People move on from this lens pretty quickly early on in their hobby or their career, and they tend to just leave this gathering dust, or they sell it for obvious reasons. But for me, I kept this lens around because it's a really small compact lens, and you don't know when this lens will be a perfect fit for a particular project or whatnot. Now, I know that at f3.5 you don't get a lot of bokeh around the subject, and people don't really like that look. For me personally, I'm not really a fan of that look. I like having the bokeh look. It makes the images look a lot pleasing to the eyes. Well, for me. Now, in comparison, this is the Sigma 16mm F1.4 lens. It's a very sharp lens and it's a very fast lens. It's not really a fair comparison to make between this lens and the kit lens, but it's important to know when to make the upgrade to a better lens, or in this case a prime lens. Since I like having bokeh, I knew for me personally that I wasn't gonna stick around with the kit lens. I bought the Sigma lens because I knew that it's a fast lens and it's a very sharp lens, a lot sharper than the kit lens that I have. But for people who don't care about bokeh or shallow depth of field, I think that the kit lens is good enough. It doesn't make the image like terrible looking at all. I mean, I'm using it right now to shoot this video. I know that it's a lot different than the Sigma lens that I was using in the previous shot, but this lens can get the job done, certainly for video. Just as long as you have enough light to compensate, the results isn't going to be terrible. I do see that as time goes on and you see the limitations of this lens, you're going to end up needing better lenses and sharper lenses than this kit lens. So you will eventually acquire better and sharper lenses, but as a video lens starting out, this lens isn't particularly terrible to use. For me, the next obvious lens to upgrade to is the Sigma 16mm F1.4. This lens gets a lot of praise and love from YouTube and Twitch just because it's a fairly affordable lens and has great value to it because it's sharp and has a shallow depth of field. But yeah, that's my 2 cents about the kit lens. It's not a terrible lens to use for video, but I think that as you progress further on in your hobby or your career, you're gonna quickly upgrade from the kit lens to a better, far sharper lens. That's all I have to say for now. Have a good day and laters.